The idea, Frankie, can you kill the lights, please? We spoke of the idea of you reap what you sow. It is a universal law. Some people call it karma. What goes around comes around. But basically it means this. If you do what's necessary to be successful, in other words, if you do your work, if you focus on your mistakes, if when you make a mistake you learn from it, then the results on your final exam and your results for the year will be really good, and you will pass on into 9th grade math. On the other hand, if you fail, it is probably going to be the result of not focus, not work, Melvin, a lack of going about your business the right way. So, here we are, we're, I guess, 11 days away from the final exam.
11?
11 class days, yeah. That's not much. And you have a test tomorrow. So let's make sure you know how to do these questions. Okay, here's the first one. Again, I just graded this quiz, and I was disappointed, frankly. I thought we should have done better. We did do a little bit better than yesterday, but it was obvious to me that some people did not even bother looking at their papers from yesterday because they repeated the same kind of mistakes. It's a right triangle. This time I made sure to put leg and hypotenuse on there so you could see visually what we were talking about yesterday. So we know the Pythagorean theorem says leg squared plus leg squared is hypotenuse squared. And we know that the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle. Melvin, give me your phone. We know that the hypotenuse is always across from the right angle, so I draw the arrow right here. 9 squared, because that's the first leg. 24 squared is the second leg, is equal to x squared. Little math here, 9 squared is 81, or just calculations, really. 24 squared is 576. I made a mistake the first time I did it. Adding them up, 657 is x squared, so you got to square root it. And a couple of people are having a little bit of a difficult time giving what they're looking for. Look what it says up here, nearest tenth. Probably about a quarter of you did the nearest whole number. So you have to, it'll come up to 25.6, I think it was 0, and you round it off to 25.6. Davis?
How do you square root?
On the calculator, above the x squared button is a square root symbol. You have to hit second x squared, which is second square root, and then you put in the number, which in this case was 657. And then you hit equals.
I got 1.325.
You did not do it right. Square root 657.
Press second then.
You got to do the second button.
Yeah. Second square root.
Okay. If you're still stuck at the end of the period, bring it up. I'll show you quickly.
Okay. Thank you.
Number 2 is to solve the system for x and y, and we're having a little bit of a problem with some of you guys showing work. You need to understand, I am literally told how to grade this because they want all of the teachers in the district to grade the same way. And what they tell you is this. Hold it. Whose water bottle? It's what? Good, you can't fill it up. Randy needs his own pass to fill it up. Otherwise, Randy fills it up on his time. Randy doesn't get others to take passes so that they get his pass used for him. Now, we are told that if we're grading the paper and you get the right answer, but you don't have work to support it, we are told to give you 1 out of 2 or 1 out of 3. So you have to show the work or you can't possibly get full credit. The good news is if the work is wrong, but your answer is wrong, but some of that work's right, you also get partial credit, just as much. All right, so we notice right away that the y's are the same amount, opposite signs, so they're going to cancel out if I add them. 5x and 2x is 7x. Die. 16 and 5 is 21. Divide by 7, x is 3. Now, a lot of people got this far, but then they didn't finish it off and go back and get y. Look at the directions. Solve the following system of equations for what? For what? X and y. A lot of people just did x. So you're doing good work, but you got to finish it off. Now you can pick either equation. I picked the bottom one because everything was positive. I like positives more. I substitute the 3 in for x. 2 times 3 is 6. Plus y is 5. Subtract the 6. Y is -1. Okay? Manny, let's put your book down. Or your cover down. Thank you. Okay, so any questions on the quiz? All right. Now, to last night's homework. Get yours out. Take a look. Let's see what you want to go over. Taking a look at page one, anything on page one that you wanna go over, anything at all? Alex?
13.
13. Oh, remember the vertical line test? Vertical line test says if you draw a vertical line, now let's watch how I do this with my cursor here. If I draw a vertical line through the graph, if it only touches once at every place on the graph, then it is a function. It does it here, but look what happens here. It touches twice. So therefore, it's not a function. Okay? Anything else? All right, page 2. Anything on page 2 at all? We're good? Here's the bottom. Are we good? Can I move forward?
Yes.
Next up. Move up a little bit. Anything? Anything you want to go over here, guys? Speak now. Okay, hopefully you're rocking this. The most important thing you can do is ask questions when you don't understand something, and then we go over it. God bless you. Anything? Huh?
So for number 25, you just substitute the Y for 8,
Which one were we looking at?
25.
Yes, because, see the point x comma 8?
It's in the Y spot.
Exactly.
Uh-huh.
Well said. Better said than I could have said. Any other questions? Okay. Last page. Now, all of these kinds of questions are going to be on the test on tomorrow, and they're also going to be on your state test, I should say on your final exam, that'll be coming in a couple of weeks. Remember that final exam's worth almost a marking period, so it can be the difference between passing and failing for the year. I'm sorry?
It's 12 points, right? 12%.
You know, I think it is. I think.
That's what Mr. Superintendent.
It's like if you pass 3 out of 5 quarters, but then you.
No, you can't, you cannot do it that way, because it all depends what you pass by and what you fail by. Like, if you pass by 1 point every marking period, and then fail your final with a 30, you fail for the year. If you pass every marking period if you pass 3 marking periods with 85s, and then you fail the other 2, you're fine. If you reverse it, if you pass 2 marking periods with 65s, and then even 3 marking periods with 65s, and then fail a marking period and the final exam, you don't pass.
That's not
Oh, it happens all the time. Definitely happens all the time. Because kids who struggle with failing tend not to have good marking periods. Yes.
What if you fail 2 quarters and pass 2 quarters?
It all depends how much you failed by, how much you passed by. But odds are, the final exam will be important, because it sounds like it splits the difference. Generally speaking, what Ava's saying is true. Generally, if you pass 3 out of 5, you will probably pass. But it's not for sure. And the other thing you need to keep in mind is the 4th marking period, you're allowed to get below a 50. So if you're a bum in class, and you do not do your work, and you don't try, and you get a 41 or a 37, that's what's going on your report card. And that could take a kid who was passing for the year and easily fail him for the year, easily. Yes,
What if you have 70s in all class and 70s and above? And
that's a positive thing. You're probably gonna be okay. But again, there are no definites, Davis. Yes,
or you never test?
what? No, I'm grading them tomorrow, first and second period, because I've been teaching every period since last week. So I should have them to get back to you tomorrow, okay?
You don't have transfer certificate?
I do, but they're taking tests, so I can grade while they take the test. All right? All right. So, here's where we're at. We are in a position where you know what's coming. You know you have a test tomorrow. You know you have a test next week. You know you have to pass for the year, and you know what you have to do. Now it's up to you to decide you want to do it. If you'd rather clown around during class, if you would rather not do your work and kind of fake the system, you're probably going to get away with faking out the person checking the homework, but you're not going to fake out your final exam. On the final exam, they're going to spread the desks out. They're going to have you take the test, and it's worth more than half a marking period. You could struggle with it. And I'm not positive about 12%. I think that's right.
Yeah,
But,
I agree.
hold it, but see, there's 1% for 7th grade and there's a different percent for 8th grade.
I think it's 15%.
So- No, it's either, I think it's either 12 and 8 or 12 and 16. So it could be worth 16%. It's not worth 8, that I'm sure of. But it's either 12 or 16, and I'm really not sure which one it is. So, what it means is if you're responsible, if you do your work, if you care, if you come into the room focused on improving, you're going to improve. But if you come in the room looking like, I don't feel like doing this and I'm not going to do my work, well, then it's going to show on the test. And then don't be surprised when you suffer the consequences. That's what I mean by you reap what you sow. If you plant peas in one field and you plant corn in another field, and then you go to harvest them at the end of the year, you're going to get peas where you put the seeds in for peas, and you're going to get corn where you put the seeds in for corn. You're not getting watermelons. You're not getting squash. Now, if you're planting the seeds of failure, if you're not doing your homework or if you're copying your homework, if you're coming into class distracted and not being able to pay attention, if you're coming into school like I'd rather do anything but be in school right now, I can't will myself to focus, you are doing exactly what people who fail do. If I was to write a book, 1,001 Ways to Fail, one of the first ways would be when you walk into the room, don't even think about what you're supposed to think about. One of the other ones would be copy your homework or don't do it at all. One of the other ones would be get on your cell phone during class. Another one would be make sure that you lose the work you get every day. I just write 1,001 things. If you're doing those things, you're going to fail. Then if I wrote 1,001 ways to pass, pay attention. Do your homework every day. Don't take the lazy way out. Work hard. Be prepared. When you get something wrong, ask why did you get it wrong so you don't repeat that you made that mistake. If you're doing that kind of thing every day, you're going to get a really good grade on your test. It's that simple. Okay?